So this is a topic that a lot of men struggle with, especially in the modern dating world. There are tons of factors out of your control, but in this video, we won't be playing the victim. We will be focusing on the factors that are within our control. If you optimize these areas, it will greatly increase the chances of you bringing the women into your life that you envision yourself with. There are tons of men who are struggling with women in dating. They either have no options at all, or the options that they do have, they don't find attractive. Being and feeling undesirable by the opposite sex can really take its toll on a man mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually to some extent. That desire for beauty and feminine energy is inherent, and it's there for a reason. And the more as men we try to ignore it or pretend like it's not there or indulge in toxic alternatives like pornography, the worse it gets. And sadly, this is 90% of single men today. They either end up alone indefinitely or perpetually distract themselves with vices, or they just end up settling with low-quality women. A lot of these men deep down know that a better version of themselves could attract much higher quality women. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, sex is actually at the base, next to food, water, air, and shelter. And this is very true depending on how high your sex drive is. But having zero options is unfortunately the reality for a lot of modern men. I'm not by any means saying the red pill way of being a degenerate and excessively sleeping around with tons of different women or using women is the answer either. That leads to a different kind of degradation of the heart, mind, and soul, and I don't recommend that. However, getting to a healthy place as a man where you know that you have options and can explore the relational possibilities with various high-quality women is a game changer. This can vastly improve your life as a man. You will feel revitalized mentally and spiritually from the feminine energy that high-quality women exude, which I've found leads to better focus in work, your purpose, and just creativity in general. Now let me say your worth, your intrinsic worth, is not governed by your acceptance or lack of acceptance by women. But that lack of acceptance by the feminine can still be an indicator that you have work to do on yourself. Women are oftentimes like a mirror for your progress or lack of progress as a man. It's completely okay for some women not to like you, but if all women are repulsed by you, then it's probably a sign that there's something with you need to work on, as opposed to the whole of the female species being wrong. And if this is where you're at right now, just know that it's okay. A lot of men are in this position right now because society is set up to keep men weak and unattractive. It's a lose-lose situation for both men and women. There are women out there right now looking for someone just like you who's the best version of himself. So please commit yourself to making progress from this moment onward. If you're filling the void of connection with women with pornography and fantasy instead of actual connections with real women, developing yourself in these ways that I'm about to talk to you about can be life-changing. So let's get into it. Stop chasing. So to start, one of the most important fundamentals, in my opinion, is to stop chasing women altogether and only focus on the women who are showing you genuine interest from the get-go. Here's what I mean by that. At the beginning stages, it's okay, good, and necessary to initiate contact, whether cold approaching, whether it's a match on dating apps, in order to get that first date. It's going to take a little bit of pursuing at those beginning stages. But even with that, if the girl is showing tons of resistance, tons of flakiness, doesn't seem to be that interested, then stop wasting your time. A little bit of cute coyness is fine, but anything beyond that, just walk away. A lot of women love attention and have no problem entertaining free attention, even if they have no intention of ever actually going on a date with you. It temporarily fills that need for attention and it strokes their ego. Once you've seen the difference between a woman who has genuine burning desire for you versus a woman who can take you or leave you, I'm telling you, you will never waste your time with a girl who isn't very clearly into you ever again. Women inherently actually have a pretty tough time letting go of a potential prospect that they're genuinely interested in. So one of the greatest tests you can give is after a first date, just disengage for a while. Move on with your life and give the woman plenty of time, plenty of space to decide if they're interested in you. They will either reach out to you or they won't. And if they do, it usually won't be anything that impressive. It'll just be a text message that just says, "Hi." This can happen anytime within a few days or a week and a half. But just know that in a world where all women's DMs are constantly being flooded, even average-looking women or below average-looking women, getting a text like that from a girl, as simple as it might be, is her communicating to you that she's still interested. She wants you to take action. It's a subtle invitation to set up another date. I've also found that women who are willing to give into their feelings and reach out to you, there's a much higher chance that they're in their feminine energy instead of their masculine energy. I'm honestly not a fan of stubborn masculine women. I don't care how hot they are. At this point, I've seen the vast difference of the kind of relationships that manifest when the polarities are out of balance. You also shouldn't be wasting your time sharing your life story over text and phone calls anyway. The phone should primarily be used to set up dates, so that way you can spend time in person to see what your energy and chemistry is actually like. In-person interactions will always be the best indicator of how you guys vibe in real life. Now, if you guys met on a dating app, then taking a 10-minute phone call to get a little bit more acquainted is necessary. Take a little time and build rapport, but then after that, shift gears to setting up plans. And if she refuses to set up plans, then she's probably just not that into you and is just enjoying the free attention. Say goodnight and move on. All these things get 100 times easier too if you've found your purpose in life and you're working towards something meaningful to you. Your purpose is what will stay on the forefront of your mind, not women. You won't have time to text girls and scroll on dating apps all day. Healthy men need purpose. It's like oxygen to them. Without it, we just default to vices, which is the norm for most men. I'm convinced that these video game companies make a living off of men who don't have any sense of purpose or direction in life and desire that feeling of progress. So they offer you a digital character that you can level up or compete with instead of leveling up your own actual life. So this first one is very important. It's foundational. Don't chase women, make yourself the best version, then put yourself out there and pay attention to the women who are showing genuine burning desire. And then, even still, mostly forget about all of it and just focus on your purpose. It's actually very common for most men, but if you don't ever have any women at all hitting you up in your DMs, then that means that there's a lot of personal things that you need to focus on first that will naturally attract women at some point in the future, as opposed to chasing them. Anytime that you're obsessing over a specific woman, this means that you're in your feminine energy. You need to recalibrate and find your inner divine masculine purpose. There's unfortunately a lot of men out there with restraining orders because they pursue women so hard. They don't realize how desperate and oftentimes scary they come across to women. If you are aggressively pursuing a woman and she's either not attracted to you, not showing any signs of interest or reciprocating, then there might even be a chance that she's scared of you. That's a hard pill to swallow and understand for men because most of us would never intentionally hurt a woman. But understand that it's in women's evolutionary hardwiring as the physically weaker sex to be more cautious and more prone to fear. So chill out. Women are scared like all the time. So lay back, work on yourself, and let the women come to you. Don't chase. If no women are chasing you at all, then that just means that you have work to do. Be patient. You're either at the upper echelon of attractiveness and getting women is easy, or you're not, and everything will feel more difficult. I have been on both sides. So sharpen the saw of your own self instead of continuing to try and push and pursue with little to no results. Here are a few things that will help over time with attracting some of these women. Looks maxing. Regardless of how old you are or your genetics, you can vastly improve your looks. Looks maxing is really the idea of doing the best that you can with what you have. Oftentimes men complain about genetics, but they've done little to no work to actually work towards their attractiveness potential. The desire for an attractive appearance can be viewed by some as superficial, and to some degree it is. But it also communicates to women that you not only take pride in your physical appearance, but in your overall health as well, and that you take care of yourself. And because of that, she also knows that the chances of you being mentally healthy is also higher. And if you have a good fit body, it also suggests that you have more discipline than average. It takes a lot of work for a man to develop a strong masculine physique, which is why it's an attribute that high quality women typically look for. Even good women who aren't inherently superficial or shallow, because of what it communicates about you and your self-discipline and strength. It's showing that you're a man who can do difficult things. Now, unless you have some kind of intense deformity, I would suggest that you stop playing the victim and blaming age and genetics as soon as possible. Most men have the capacity to be way more handsome and physically attractive than they think they do. Instead of wallowing in victimhood, replace complaining with action from this moment forward. Both of these photos were taken in my 30s. In the first photo, I'm 30 years old. In the second photo, I'm 35. You can absolutely still look smacks in your 30s and 40s. It's just gonna take discipline no matter what. Don't settle for mediocrity like everyone else. I know that you can do this. Be patient with yourself and make sure that it's coming from a place of self-love rather than self-loathing. It's okay to want the best for yourself. It's a good thing. The same way that you'd want what's best for your close friends, family, people that you care about, you deserve to look after yourself and treat yourself like you would those people.
Hey brother, I just wanted to personally invite you to check out the Conscious Men community. I just launched it. If you are a man and you're looking for accountability and support and connection with other like-minded men, then I would encourage you to check it out. You will also have direct access to me. I am very active in the community. If you are on the self-improvement journey and trying to reach some goals, whatever those may be, whether it's trying to quit pornography, whether it's trying to build a strong masculine physique, do inner work and heal some of your past trauma, I've found that having the support of like-minded men can really go a long way. I've had very long seasons of solitude, oftentimes on purpose because I couldn't find other guys who were either at my level or I felt like could elevate me in some way. This community only attracts men who are serious about becoming the best version of themselves. There's also exclusive courses that are being built. Right now, there's a mini course in there that shows how I make all of my YouTube videos. I've been getting a lot of questions about those car chat videos that I make. So in that course, I disclose all my secrets if that's something that you're interested in. Currently, I am also building a body transformation course as well. As the community grows, I'm going to raise the price significantly so the barrier of entry is higher because I want to keep the community manageable and personable so that way it remains effective. So get in early right now while the price is as low as it's ever going to be. Click the link in the description, watch the welcome video, and hopefully I'll see you on the inside. Let's get back to the video.
So here's a very, very quick, no BS rundown of looks maxing. It's not a full guide or anything like that. I can expand more on each of these topics in the future. If you want me to, just let me know in the comments, and at some point I will make a full looks maxing guide with details. But for now, here are the basics. Body fat percentage. I cannot stress the importance of having a lower body fat percentage. Everything from your body, but also the aesthetics of your face. There are men out there who have an epic jawline and they have no idea because they've never gotten below 15% body fat. This isn't easy. It is difficult, but it is very worth it. You will be set apart if you get your body fat percentage lower than most men. This will automatically make you way more attractive. I believe that some of the best looking men in the world are hiding beneath layers and layers of body fat. Do whatever it is you need to do. Educate yourself, learn about things like intermittent fasting, calorie deficits. I also have other videos on this channel that talk about losing weight that you can check out after this video. This is the biggest foundation of looks maxing. You've got to discipline yourself to get this part of your life under control as soon as possible. The next thing I would say is having a decent amount of muscle for your frame. You don't have to be a massive bodybuilder, but if you're stronger than average, if you're very strong for your size, then you'll have a good amount of muscle that looks aesthetic. You'll want to get stronger on compound lifts like incline press, overhead press, lateral raises. These are the kinds of exercises that build the upper part of your body, and as you get leaner and lose body fat, you'll have that V taper that is very attractive to women. Get strong in the gym. If you're just doing incline press dumbbells with like 50 pounds for 10, it's not enough. Work your way up to 80s, 90s, 100s. I know that might sound insane to you right now, but if you're slowly focusing on progressive overload, 5 pounds at a time, 10 pounds at a time, before you know it, a year has gone by, 2 years have gone by, and you're significantly stronger than you've ever been, and you've got your body fat in order, you're gonna look incredible. And then the next thing I would say is style, which funny enough becomes a lot easier once you're in amazing shape. There have been times where people have asked me like, oh, like, where did you get that shirt? It looks amazing. Sometimes I get stuff at thrift stores and it just fits me a certain way because I'm in much better shape than the average man. But you'll want to get clothes that are somewhat fitted, that show your physique off. Some brands that are pretty cheap and pretty decent would be like Zara or H&M. Ditch the baggy clothes, ditch the cargo pants and the flip-flops. Start to just dress with like simple colors that are fitted, and you will look classier than most men. Also, just throw a couple of accessories in there. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just one watch, like a man's bracelet of some kind, just a simple silver chain, and you're good to go. Next thing I would say is your skin health. A lot of this, in my opinion, has to do with your diet. I eat a lot of vegetables. I don't really eat a ton of junk food or garbage. I eat as much whole foods as I possibly can. I've never really had much of a skin routine. I wash my face every day, but I credit most of my skin health to my overall health and my diet. There are some skin products that I'm trying out right now. A few different companies have reached out to me asking me to sponsor their skin product, and my default answer has always been no. But there's 2 or 3 products that I'm testing out right now. And in a few months, if they're life-changing and blowing my mind, I might mention those to you. We'll see. I'm never going to sponsor a product that I don't actually love and use regularly. I'll keep you posted on that. The next thing would be your teeth and your dental hygiene. This is very important, and I know everybody's been dealt different cards when it comes to this area, but do everything you can. Get your teeth whitened. If your teeth are extremely messed up, it might be worth to get braces or some kind of cosmetic work done. And if money is no object, I know something like veneers can be amazing. I know a lot of celebrities do that. That's not something that I would do. I was fortunate growing up to where my parents afforded me braces. I had something in my mouth called a herpes because I had an overbite. It pulled my jaw forward. It was very painful. I had that for several years. But do whatever you can to address your dental hygiene. I floss every single day. If you're not a regular flosser, please start flossing. And if it's not something that you do, I want you to go in the bathroom right now, take a piece of dental floss the back of your teeth, and then fucking smell it. And after that, I guarantee you will become a regular flosser. The next thing is hair. If you are deep into balding, just commit to it. There's people like Jason Statham and other various celebrities who have made balding work because they have all these other things in check. They have all these other things in order. If you have a great physique, if you have good teeth, if you have good skin, if you're in incredible shape, if you shave your head and you also get sun, so you're a little bit more on the tan side because you take regular walks, you could still look extremely handsome and extremely masculine. If you're not that far along in your hair loss and you're just getting a little bit of like a silver dollar on top, I would recommend using minoxidil. Minoxidil is something that I use every single day. It got rid of my little balding that was starting up here about a year ago. And if you're a responder, it can be great. I would also recommend getting regular haircuts. Every couple weeks if you can, just get a fade, get it nice and cleaned up. Not only will you feel better and more confident because you're just sharper, women will take note that you take care of yourself in this way and that you take pride in your appearance. All of these micro things come together and help make you more attractive. I do go through seasons where I don't care as much and I let myself go a little bit depending on how focused on work or creative endeavors that I am. But if you're in a season and you're serious about this and you've been looks maxing, then I would recommend doing all these things regularly. Facial hair, if you can grow some facial hair, a little bit of stubble goes a long way to adding to your masculine look. I have heard of some men who have little to no facial hair using minoxidil on their face and having results. I personally have never done this, but if that interests you, definitely go down the rabbit trail and see if that's something you can get results from. And the final thing is posture. You'd be surprised the vast difference it makes, where if you're bent forward like this all the time, not only are you going to feel less confident, but other people around you will perceive that you're less confident. As a man, have your shoulders back, walk with confidence, walk like you're the best version of yourself. Chest out, shoulders back. If you have trouble with your posture and there's a lot of pain when you have good posture, posture, then maybe you need to see a chiropractor. For some people, regular chiropractic work can really help with having good posture and having it feel natural for them. And that's a very basic rundown of looks maxing. If you do all these things I listed and get these things in order, you will look like a different person. You won't look or feel average. You'll start to kind of almost have like a celebrity energy. Most men will never do these things. If you have a desire to attract the opposite sex, then don't be like most men. Next thing I want to dive into is getting rid of your social anxiety through cold approaching. The importance of the kind of confidence this creates can't be overstated. Ridding yourself of social anxiety and the grasp it has over you is one of the most important things that you can ever do as a man. In my opinion, the most powerful masculine attribute that you can possess is being comfortable and secure in your own skin, where other people's outward validation of you means little to nothing. Several months back, I was on my way to a first date. It was one of those weird weeks where I had multiple first dates lined up. And as I was driving to this date, I had this moment where I realized I wasn't nervous at all. I had zero anxiety and zero nerves. And the only thoughts that were really going through my mind were, I hope this girl's cool. I hope she's got a cute sense of humor. Hopefully she has a nice feminine energy and isn't too masculine. There wasn't anything in me of, oh, I hope she likes me. I hope she doesn't think I'm weird. I hope she doesn't judge my 20-year-old car. There was nothing like that filling my mental space. It was all thoughts of hoping she had positive attributes and had enough going on to pique my interest. So many men are so caught up dealing with their own feelings of inadequacy and their own anxieties that they don't even notice if a girl is a good fit for them or not outside of whether or not they're physically attractive. For a lot of men, the only test of validation they have for women is whether or not they're hot. That's it. Nothing will get you outside of this mentality faster than regular cold approaching. It's where you're forced to face your fears, your anxieties, and guaranteed rejection. The strength that you build from that process is foundational. It will help you see women more clearly in the future because you have a handle on and you've dealt with your own insecurities. It creates this foundational layer of confidence that most men go their entire lives and never experience. I don't care if you're 20 years old or 47 years old. If you're single, learn to cold approach and you will slowly gain James Bond level confidence. You might still feel a little nervous here and there leading up to an approach, but you will have overall become braver as a result, which in my opinion is a very virtuous thing to cultivate, and it'll positively affect other areas of your life. If you've never done anything like cold approaching, just walking up to a girl that you perceive as gorgeous and having her reject you, then you're gonna feel that. It'll even touch on your inner past trauma. You might feel like a lost, sad little boy, and that's okay. That's good. Feel it. Go into it. Reflect on it. Heal and become stronger because of it. It's not the thing hurting you, but it is shining a light on the fear of abandonment and rejection that you have inside of you that you've probably never addressed. Now, you don't need to do this forever. You don't have to cold approach a bunch of beautiful women forever, but just for a season until the exposure therapy has brought out the inner masculine confidence and you no longer give a fuck what people think about you. This is very powerful. Through it, you will build a foundation of fearlessness, confidence, and inner groundedness. These are masculine traits that are very difficult to fake long term, so don't fake it, earn it. And once you have it, it's very easy to attract women. Next, I want to very briefly touch on dating apps. Dating apps are a waste of time for most guys. It really only becomes worth your time once you've already gone through your looks maxing journey and you've made a ton of progress. Because then at that point, dating apps just gives you extra options. They're actually a good objective test to see if you're as physically attractive to the opposite sex at a first glance as you think you might be. It's a proxy that does not care about your feelings. So if you create a dating profile and you're not getting any matches, don't get upset. Just know that you have some looks maxing work ahead of you to do. Delete the apps for now until you've gained a few points in your looks and you find yourself easily getting a ton of matches. Just don't waste your time in those apps right now. Put that time towards working on yourself instead. Next is money and status. The Red Pill community is obsessed with money and status to become a high value man to attract women. There is some degree of truth to that, but like I always say, consume the meat and spit out the bones. Here's what made me realize there's a lot more to this concept than just money. I found myself starting to date women whose exes were very wealthy men with hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers and yachts and Ferraris. Whenever they would talk about their exes, they genuinely sounded repulsed. They would talk about how they had all this money, how they had all these things going for them, but that they were painfully insecure. That all they did was talk about their accomplishments. All they did was talk about their bank account. Constantly trying to buy the girl things, hoping that she would love him a little bit more. Money can absolutely elevate things, but a lot of these men who have tons of money, tons of status because they've worked really hard on it, have done little to no inner work to cultivate their inner divine masculine. At the end of the day, they're still lost little boys who are trying to get validation from mommy, and they project that on the women that they're dating, and these women are disgusted by it. If some of these men saw these women with me now, they'd be so confused. I don't really have anything flashy. I drive a 20-year-old car, but I make these women feel very safe and very feminine. Hypergamy is mostly a feeling for women. They can sense your inner contentment, confidence, and masculinity. And in addition to that, status is oftentimes less about being a rock star, professional athlete, or CEO, and more about you having a sense of certainty, direction, and purpose, and being the kind of man who refuses to settle for mediocrity in your life. If you're genuinely ambitious and excited about the goals that you've set for yourself in life, women will pick up on this. Your genuine ambition conveys your value and future potential to women. Most women would much rather have a man who is physically in great shape, very secure within himself, and is on a good trajectory versus a man with millions of dollars, tons of fame, status, and money, but on the inside is a scared, lost, insecure kid. Women are repulsed by that. They want you to have your inner world and your inward shit together. Now, if you don't actually have any goals of substance and you spend all your time sitting around watching TV and playing video games, you will naturally give off a lower status vibe, and women will pick up on this. Women are very intuitive. At the end of the day, if a woman can see that you're on an upward trajectory and they can at least see clear evidence of your potential and a strong desire to reach that potential, then you're on the right track. Women realize that a lot of men are a work in progress, but having clear direction and ambition and certainty of purpose will make women more likely to bet on you. Just one box to tick out of many. All the wealthy men that these women were dating were just very insecure, and that made whatever wealth they had almost meaningless to them in terms of long-term desire and genuine attraction. Try to make sure that you always have some kind of personal business or creative endeavor that you're excited about, that you're working on. Something that you'd much rather work on than sit around watching TV, playing video games, watching sports, or even chasing women. Don't ever do these things for women. Do it for yourself. And if you don't have anything like that right now, then you need to do some soul searching. Start spending time in nature, leave your phone at home, start journaling, examine your natural gifts and tendencies, pray, whatever you gotta do. And don't stop until you find that thing for you. It can be painful and uncomfortable to go through that process, but seek and you shall find. There are too many companies out there that have made billions of dollars crafting entertainment that numbs us from the discomfort of soul searching. Find what your unique gifts are that you can offer the world. Which brings me to the last and probably most important point: finding inner peace and full, unapologetic, loving self-acceptance. Hear me out for a second. Romantic affection is really just one of the many unique containers that can embody the love of the divine, but you don't always need it. A woman is never going to save you from yourself. She's never going to complete you, but she can certainly complement the richness and the goodness of what you already have going on in your life. I've had very long relationships. I've had seasons of multiple casual partners. I've also had long seasons of solitude where it's just been me with myself. In all these scenarios, I could never escape myself. And man, you can't escape yourself either. Doing inner work is cultivating the relationship with yourself. Your own inner wounds, demons, anxieties. Make friends with all of it. Heal yourself. Learn to fucking love yourself the way that you love your family, your closest friends, the people you care most about in this life. Love yourself with at least that level of acceptance and care that you give to them. Get rid of all the self-loathing. You've got a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul inside of you. And from that place, you will attract what you truly need and what's truly best for you in this life. And that includes women too. You probably didn't expect anything this deep on a how to attract women on YouTube video, but here we are. People are evolving, and so are you. You are loved, You matter, and you've barely scratched the surface of what you're capable of. If you got something out of this today, please consider subscribing, share this video with someone you think would find it useful. Watch this video right now, and I'll talk to you soon.